The irony is thick. While General Motors was winding through bankruptcy court this summer, GM products were starring in the biggest blockbuster of the season. Transformers 2 features warrior robots from outer space, which disguise themselves as Chevrolets. Back in the real world, there are many who believe GM's promised transformation is also pure fantasy. But if they pull it off, much credit will go to GM's design team. Artists who get to ignore the financial problems of today and dream about tomorrow.
All our guys are kind of in this, like Josh, is kind of in this 2012, 2013 time frame right now.
So what will the world be like in 2012, Josh?
It's all up here.
Their boss is Ed Welburn. He famously sent GM a letter at age 8, begging for advice on how to become a designer.
It has strong hips and very muscular design.
Ed leads us through the bowels of GM's design center with a tantalizing promise.
I gotta tell you, there are very few people who work for General Motors who have ever been in Studio X. I'd say maybe 20 or 30 people over the years.
Studio X is a car lover's version of Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. A Stingray concept over here, something sleek and mysterious under wraps over there, and designers using clay to search for shapes that make a statement and stir passion.
Do you think the industry as a whole got away from that for a while?
I think so. I think we did, in fact.
The new Camaro came out of this studio, and it is telling that this American classic was designed by a Korean, engineered by Australians, and built by Canadians. This room connects the corners of GM's globe as they tinker with everything. But the idea they are most proud of these days is the Chevy Volt.
This is it. This is the future, you hope.
Well, it's more than a hope. I mean, this is reality.
It has been called GM's Moonshot, an idea that would leapfrog hybrids like the Prius when it hits showrooms late next year.
It was very much influenced by the iPod.
Plug it into any outlet, they say, and a fully charged Volt will go 40 miles without burning a single drop of gas.
Wow, it's got a stealth power about it. It absolutely responds.
Go farther than 40 miles and a small engine kicks in to recharge the batteries, getting anywhere from 50 to 150 miles per gallon. But the Volt has a painful legacy a decade old. The film Who Killed the Electric Car shows how GM developed the EV1 after California passed tough pollution laws. But when those laws were dropped, the company recalled the EV1s from protesting customers and sent them to the crusher. So instead of perfecting the electric car over the past decade, GM watched as Toyota branded itself as smarter and greener with the Prius. And they watched a grassroots electric revolution, which indicates that the next great innovation probably won't come from Detroit. For example, a Brazilian flight attendant named Marcelo de Luz built a solar car from scratch. So far, he's driven more than 20,000 miles on sunlight.
People were skeptical. They thought I was going crazy to build a car that runs on sunshine. But things have changed.
Rock star Neil Young figured out a way to electrify his 1959 Lincoln.
No emissions. No emissions ever.
And in the Silicon Valley, an internet mogul named Elon Musk founded a car company called Tesla.
It's as easy as plugging in a hairdryer.
Under a super light Lotus body, there are more than 7,000 lithium-ion laptop batteries, holding enough juice to go almost 250 miles very quickly. There are now 500 of these on the road, with a long line of people waiting to buy one for $109,000.
Did you take your ideas to GM?
Yes. We had extensive discussions with General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford.
And what did they say?
They were not interested in working with us.
So Tesla just signed a deal with Mercedes. And GM executives now admit it was Tesla that inspired them to conceive the Volt. But because their technology is so new, it won't make them any real money for years.
It is not what is going to save General Motors over the next 2, 3, or 5 years. It is a further out technology.
So for now, the new GM will have to simply make cars people want to buy. How are they doing? Well, the Chevy Malibu was the Motor Trend Car of the Year last year. And according to J.D. Power, new car buyers rate Chevrolet above the industry average in initial quality. And Cadillac is third only to Lexus and Porsche. But that is initial quality. When it comes to durability and reliability, reviewers at Consumer Reports aren't so glowing.
From what we've seen in the Consumer Reports survey, the reliability has been below average. A lot of GM products have problems with their transmission, with electrical features, and also interior sort of squeaks, rattles, parts of the trim dropping off. So they've come out with some great cars, but they still haven't cracked that reliability.
But even if they get all that right, GM still must overcome an enormous image problem.
Let's be completely honest. No company wants to go through this.
Their new TV ad is an odd assortment of images: green shoots, an amputee, New York City crowds, and no admission of any mistakes. Just a vow to reinvent because the world has changed around them.
There was a time when our cost structure could compete worldwide. Not anymore.
One study found that positive mentions online went up after this ad launched, but reviews have been mixed.
Because nothing says rebirth of the American car like people taking the subway. And a one-legged man who would rather run.
Of the dozens of experts I talked to, they all agree that this new leaner GM actually has a fighting chance. Look at Hyundai. They were a joke in the early 90s, but they spent 15 years knuckling down, improving quality 3 times a year. Until now, they're rated up there with Toyota and Honda in customer satisfaction. So if the South Koreans can do it, America can do it, right?
If you got to get it built right, heart pumps, defibrillators, any of the high-end stuff that's still made here. If you want it built right, we still make stuff really good here. And we can make cars really good here.
What does the bankruptcy of GM say about America?
Actually, what it really says is good things. What capitalism is about is creative destruction. A thing like the car comes along, it makes people's fortunes, it gives people jobs, it does wonderful things for 100 years, and then we don't need it anymore, and it goes away. And that is the beauty of America. It's not just about winning, it's about losing.
And there are few things America loves better than a comeback story. Let's hope they pull it off. After all, it's not just our $50 billion on the line, it's the heartbeat of America.